We need to bring it because this is our...
And we're back. Wim Hof.
I'm more Hoff than Wim.
Hasselhoff.
Okay, actually, I was going to do a big intro, but really, all we need to do is say that we're back, and I think we're just going to give you a regular old episode. So we wanted to start with a group of seltzers that are sitting here in front of us. So we're here in the garage, and it's cold. It's about 32 degrees right now. Let me check my phone. 33 degrees outside. We're in the garage because who knows if we're going to talk about sex, penises. Will's going to say a naughty word in front of the children as they're asleep in their beds because we got the hardwood and the sound travels under the doorways, and my little cherubim are falling asleep in their beds, and the last thing we want them to hear at night is like a "that's what she said" or a telling us what first sex after the wedding was like or something like that. And that's not what they need to hear when they go to bed. So we're out here in the garage, and Will said he was going to give me a spicy drink to toast me up.
Warm.
And it was...
Now I'm starting to feel like it's very anti-podcast drink because every time I take a sip, it makes me want to cough.
Ranch water, hard seltzer, spicy. It's got lime juice and jalapeno flavors. And then we'll just hit the music.
Hit it.
Okay, so I thought we could do some recaps. From
starting December 17th. What day was it?
Should we do a bachelor recap and then a wedding recap?
Sure.
For the next 2 episodes?
Oh, like this one batch, next wed?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if I got enough wed, but we can do that.
We'll figure it out.
Cheeks, you owe me a Coke. Okay. Here's where I want to start the batch situation. So I do want to...
I didn't know anything about it until it was happening.
Okay, so there were... Oh, yeah. Okay, keep that in mind. But I do want to... Oh, yeah, you didn't know. Okay, that threw me off for a second. Okay, this is what I was going to ask you. Because even though you didn't know what was going on, I started thinking about the people involved. Because even though I'm your brother and I'm closer in one facet of your life, being that we share DNA strands, we're not closer in some other ways because we've mostly hung out on the pod. We're not going out and having adventures and things like that. The inside jokes we have are definitely almost just like you and me. It's not like part of a little group, which is some of the other people that involved the wrestling team.
Yeah.
So there was the wrestling team, and then Todd was the BM, best man, and Big J Okerson was there.
Yeah, he was I said,
and Troy was there.
I was like, oh, he'll get along with anyone and be comic relief.
Yeah.
He can like have a conversation with anybody. So I was like, that'll be fun.
Troy reminded me he has a Grandpa Roger one-liners for every anything you could say. He just has a one-liner for it.
Yeah.
And
but his aren't the same 5 like Grandpa Roger's.
yeah. Non sequiturs. But also Grandpa Roger's dead, so he's not.
Rest in peace.
He's not saying any right now.
Right.
That we know of. Could be doing them in heaven.
Yeah.
Or wherever the great in-between is.
Beyond.
Well, I'm thinking pre-resurrection.
Oh. Then this would be a great Troy conversation.
But my question to you is, even though
Post-trib.
even though you didn't know about anything happening, did you think about how I might be interacting with the group at all that night?
Yes.
And what
Oh,
were you-
during the night?
yeah,
No, I was I was more curious about how
Did you
were
have my
interacting.
thoughts? What were your thoughts leading up to it?
I was more
in regard to me.
curious.
I don't care about them.
I was
This
more
is our
curious
podcast.
about how you would interact with them on the group chat
Oh,
leading up to it.
The
Because
group-
I know how Rob and John, or how John and Nate are on the group chat, any group chat. Because they're on a fantasy football team group
Right,
chat, and
right.
then other just jujitsu group chat. And how they go off on there. And then, so it's kind of funny that it was like a little Mod Podge group.
yeah, it was.
And then that was the only thing I thought. It was like how you would act. You think they're crazy or something on the group chat. But then also you met them at the jiu-jitsu tournament in Wenatchee.
yeah,
So I was like, it's not 100%, new.
yeah. I'd seen Nate a couple times because we went down the card shop.
Oh, yeah.
2 or 3 times. Ben took the boys to get a haircut with John, so I saw him
Oh, you did?
there.
Yeah.
I think I saw John out just like once or twice and said hey. But the group chat wasn't crazy.
I don't know. I wasn't in it.
I mean, it was just normal.
Yeah.
It wasn't like
It wasn't like jokes back and forth. Like
I mean, yeah, that's 100% what it was,
Oh,
but
okay.
it wasn't like
Nate and John just
It wasn't-
destroying each other.
yeah, that's mostly what it was, but
Okay.
nothing was beyond the pale.
Yeah. No, I wasn't worried. I wasn't like worried about you interacting with anybody. I thought it'd be fun.
It was a little bit, but that night I did feel like I'm not saying this like woe is me. I'm just saying the basics of how the night went. I did feel a little bit like the outsider because they sort of had each other, and Todd and Troy
Oh,
knew each other
if
more.
anything, I thought Todd would be the outsider.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just because you've at least met all of them, and more.
He hadn't really though.
No,
Yeah.
no. I kept trying to get him to go meet at Nate's because he lives like 5 minutes away. His address is.
Oh yeah.
So I thought, and then like I said, Troy can have any conversation with anyone. So I thought maybe Todd would be kind of like the quieter, out of the loop one, if anything. And you're
that's,
just,
and that's just his personality more.
yeah, you were more of a talker than him. So
Well, and then he's the one that he talked a lot with Rob at the dinner.
oh yeah,
And sometimes
well, that's the thing is like they start talking like real estate or something.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's like yeah.
mostly it was John and Nate just like entertaining.
Yes.
So it's like
That's how it always is.
if I wasn't talking, it wasn't because I was like, I like I said, I never felt like woe is me or anything that night. I didn't really feel like an outsider in that type of way.
Yeah.
But so if I was quiet or not, it was just because, yeah.
I didn't think you were quiet.
Nate and John are just sniping each other all night, which
Yeah.
it was fun.
Yeah.
It was entertaining. And I will say also this, everybody is so nice, and I've said that about those guys, and it's like, yeah, it's nice. They're just sort of normal, but they are like kind and like nice guys.
Yeah.
When some guys are just like silly, but they can't turn it into like I'm also a normal person.
Right.
And those guys
Yeah.
those guys are like normal people too. And so whether it was at the bachelor party or is that like I really liked at the wedding, John was, dancing with Declan, or when the boys came in, John was doing their hair, or they were like playing with Declan and the umbrella or whatever.
Oh, John did their hair at the wedding?
Well, he just, he hooked them up with some pomade or
Yeah.
whatever he had.
He just kept wanting his Dyson hair dryer in the pictures. He's like, gotta make all the bitches jealous with this Dyson
I know. Did you get the $500 one?
air wand or whatever it's called.
Air wand.
No, I think that's besides the LA grocery store, the
Mm-hmm.
that's like a curler that like where it like swirls it around.
It was
But
supposed
no,
to-
his is the blow dryer.
Yeah, that was supposed to be the gift of the hot Christmas gift or whatever.
Yeah.
This year.
That's cool that he did that.
Anyways, can we
So
talk
the
some
batch.
Can we talk some specifics about the batch? And
You can pretty much say all of it, I think.
now,
That I remember.
Do you, exactly. So that my first question. Are there any parts of the night that you are missing?
Some of the car ride home.
Oh, some of the car ride. Well, you didn't miss much.
It wasn't
Okay.
that far.
Yeah.
And then I remember being asked if I wanted to go to Taco Bell, and I was like 100% no.
Okay. If you said 100% no, this is what came out of your mouth.
I didn't shake my head. I didn't do it.
I don't think so. I don't think you uttered a word.
I don't think I said 100% no, but in my brain I was like, absolutely not.
So the night went like this. So we go to the restaurant.
Went to
Let me give you
specifics. Which restaurant?
Okay, let me give you a brief just overview of the night so you can just keep this in your mind. Restaurant,
Mhm.
comedy club, cigar lounge.
Yes.
Okay, so that's the outline of the night. Roman numeral 1, 2,
And I
3,
didn't
or
know about
ABC,
it.
whichever you want to use.
I didn't know about it till it was happening, pretty much.
Yeah, Will didn't know about it ahead of time, but that was what we did. We all rode together in a minivan, and we had a designated driver, and pretty much I knew how the night was going to go as soon as we sat down at the restaurant, because even though Troy said that he would pay for drinks pretty early after we sat down at the what's it called?
Wooden City.
Wooden City. At the Wooden City,
My
which they had.
favorite restaurant in Tacoma. And maybe greater Puget Sound area.
Really? To me,
That's of a certain price level.
Yeah. It was cool. It was a nice restaurant. A little
Yeah.
bit trendy.
Yep.
But a little bit also normal.
Yep.
Nice. The service was awesome.
I think we talked about it. One of my favorite parts of the restaurant.
Yeah, that guy was just, even though John knew him, and I think that helped, that guy was just like so attentive. Or is that what
They're
it
always
is?
like that. Always like that.
Yeah, I'd love that. And yeah, because that's what I was surprised. It's a little bit trendy, but I made the comment. It's like there was all different ages in there. Everything.
Mhm.
It wasn't
Yeah.
just a bunch of young people restaurant or anything like
Yeah.
that. But we get in, and not very far into the night, Troy said he would pay for drinks, but I knew how the night was going to go because I got the impression that you were going heavy pretty much from the time we sat down.
Yeah.
So I was like, I already had a picture in my mind of where the night was
I
going.
wanted to get something going. I know where my mistakes were made, and I'll get to that.
So we spent like almost like 2 hours, I think,
Yeah.
at the
It
restaurant.
was a long time there, yeah.
The restaurant was mostly hanging out. Not too much interesting at the restaurant. We
It
were
was
just
fun.
having
Yeah,
a good time. I had a vegan pizza for some reason.
Yeah,
It just
that was
sound-
weird.
I just needed to start light because this was my idea. We're going to the
Comedy Club.
next, and I'm thinking grease bomb,
Yeah.
that type of
But
chicken.
did you get food
chicken
there?
wings, burgers, onion rings, which I got.
Oh.
So I did.
I wish I would have got food there.
Yeah. So I was already had in my head that I was going to get something there.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to go too crazy with I didn't want to get a fried chicken sandwich and whatever. It just looked, you know what got me on the vegan pizza? The almonds.
There were almonds on it?
Yeah. and
Interesting.
I love almonds.
Almonds are one of my least favorite nuts.
Dude,
I think it's the arsenic.
I love it. Do you have any comments from the restaurant? I think
The restaurant I love. It was fun. I've only ever been there with a party of 2, so it was fun to see. It was fun to all be there.
Yeah.
A group of what were we? 8, 6, 7,
6.
6. Yeah. Yeah. So it was fun.
No, 7.
7. That was fun. And then, it was fun because it's like my favorite restaurant, and I think a lot of people hadn't been there. So then it was cool to like share that with everybody and just have a good time. I mean, my favorite part of any like get together, whether it be, party, wedding, whatever, is that time when you're just like chilling, eating, talking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that was probably like my favorite part of the night.
Yeah. So I was, that probably was, that was definitely my favorite part of the night because it was just fun. Everybody was just talking, but I had to extract myself from the Rob Todd real estate / business mogul talk.
Yeah.
So I did take a little break and just be entertained. And even though I noticed, some drinks being poured at the table, like we were getting ready to go. And I mean, we're only going to be there like 10 more minutes. And then you got an extra
chartreuse
something.
But I had ordered that like 20 minutes before.
Oh, really?
Yeah. For some reason, it took forever to get that.
So most people were a couple drinks in, which was not abnormal. But I think you were one up on everyone.
Yeah.
Or maybe two.
Yeah, that was just a little post-dinner aperitif.
Aperitif?
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. So
it's a herbal liqueur.
Oh.
But that one specifically it's like originally made by these French monks, and they still hold like the recipe. It's kind of interesting. But it's like a bunch of herbs that are then made into a liqueur, and so it has a very interesting taste. But in some cultures, you have it after dinner. It's supposed to help with digestion.
He says to himself on his fourth one.
And more alcohol. This is gonna make me feel good.
So there was that. There was a gummy at the table.
I didn't hear about that until way later.
There was, anyways, there was just, but it was light. It was pretty light till then.
I heard you were dealing.
It was pretty light at the table. I was feeling feminine or something that night because I was rosé and vegan pizza, and everybody's like, "Give me a Rainier beer and a chicken sandwich."
Oh yeah, I think I had the beer and a shot too.
That's what I was saying. You had last.
No, and then I had the chartreuse.
And one after that.
Yeah. So
that's what I'm saying.
4 drinks in.
Yeah, I think Will was. Yeah, I think Will was one ahead of everybody.
Yeah.
And well, I know.
But I don't think that was the issue.
Well, what was the issue?
The comedy club.
Yeah, so we go up to the comedy club, and everybody makes it up the hill fine. So, how did everybody make it down the hill fine? That's what I didn't know. Or were you?
I didn't think anyone was having an issue.
Well,
either way.
Okay, I was just making sure because it was very clear by the time we got to the comedy club that Will had switched modes.
Oh,
he went from restaurant mode to whatever mode was
having a good time.
The time between, so we walked up the hill, so that was on Pacific, and then you got to walk up to Market.
Was I extra chatty? Because that's what happens.
Hold on.
Like you're talking about interacting with people and you like want to hang out again and again. What happens then? I want to add the bartender on Instagram, and it's not like girls. It's like the cool guy like that I'm talking to. I want to like add on Instagram because I'm like too friendly.
Wait, the funny story.
The coffee.
Okay. I was mistiming the. Okay. So, oh yes.
So I was what? I wasn't good going to the comedy club.
No, you were good going up to the comedy club. Everybody was good going up to the comedy club. Everybody was good. And then, sometime between the start of the show and by the time the actual comedian got on stage,
the headliner. Yeah,
the headliner. That's when your vibe changed.
Okay.
But also the hardest I laughed all night long was not any comedian. The fact that, okay, at most comedy clubs, you buy your ticket, but there's also a 2-drink minimum.
2 item.
2 item minimum or whatever. So, and that's how they make their money because they want to sell you a drink or they want to sell you cheap food or whatever.
Yep.
So you buy your hamburger, you buy your nachos, and then you get your vodka soda
Yep.
or your
Double Mai Tai.
or your double Mai Tai, and then you just have your night. But all of a sudden, the waiter comes around. We're on the very front row, and by front row, I mean front inch of the stage.
Yeah,
People's
you
knees
could.
are,
I put my foot up on the stage and I just, that's bad etiquette.
and so the lights go down, and the drinks.
I thought all the comedians were good for not knowing any of them.
Yeah, all the comedians were great, and
Like better than other openers that we saw, even at like the theater in Seattle.
oh, the opener that wasn't the host, but the white guy.
Yeah,
I thought he was so funny.
yeah, they were all good.
I almost liked him better than but he just had a different vibe that I was like more into.
I felt the headliner did less jokes than him because he did all the crowd work.
Just crowd work, and his vibe was like kind of mellow a little bit.
Yeah,
But so the drinks start coming out, lights go down, guy in a too tight t-shirt comes out. Hey, I'm so and so from Detroit. Blah, blah, blah. Sometimes I get sweaty when I walk the hills, but he was funny. But all of a sudden, I smell something in the air, something I didn't expect to smell in the comedy club. So I get my vodka soda. Somebody's getting their Red Bull. Somebody's getting their double Mai Tai. And then all of a sudden,
the rum and coke, neat.
All of a sudden, rum and coke. Then I swing around and look at Troy sitting like 2 feet from me, and I just see a mug with steam coming out of the top. In the lights, the light hitting it, and he's got a hot cup of coffee, black coffee, and you can just smell it like it's 5 a.m. in your grandparents' house in a diner. And I started laughing my head off. I think I had tears in my eyes, and something just struck me.
I was laughing hard at that.
It's funny because he's just got a big white beard. I know you love him and he's your friend, but it's like most of us were like the same age except for him.
I know.
That's not a knock on him. He got along with everybody, but
you're bringing a dad. You're bringing a chaperone.
Yeah, I mean, he had as good a time as anybody, but so then it was just funny that you got caught.
So I saw that in a different timeline, and I was laughing so hard at it because I hear him order. He's like, "I'll get a grasshopper," which I forget what that is, some alcoholic beverage, but they didn't have some part of it.
Yeah.
So it took them 20 minutes to come back and say, "We can't do that. Do you want something else?" And I'm expecting him to say, beer. Anything, any other alcoholic drink.
Yeah.
And not after thinking long about it, he just goes, "I'll have a coffee." And I heard all of that.
Yeah.
Because I was sitting right next to him, and I was like, I turned over and I started laughing. I'm like, "Coffee."
Yeah.
But I mean, I wasn't surprised on one. I mean, one part of me was surprised, and then another part of me wasn't.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I've known him forever, and I first met him while I was working at Starbucks. And he drinks coffee all day long, and he works weird hours, and so I'm like not surprised at all.
It was just more funny because it was the setting. It was just
exactly.
You never hear like,
and
I went to the comedy club.
And you already ordered
Exactly.
an alcoholic drink that they said, "Oh, we can't do that." He said, "Okay, I'll just have coffee." That's what was so funny to me.
It was kind of like it was like 7:30, and he's like wrapping up the night with a hot cup of coffee.
Yeah, the show just started.
I
thought it was tons of fun. So they told.
So the person who sat us had obviously told the host that
they asked if it was okay if he told them.
A bachelor party. So the host, who was like the first 5-minute comedian, who's usually the least good guy, he comes and he says some things to us about the bachelor party.
He said, yeah.
But it was just kind of a couple things.
Yeah.
But I think so. I don't think the headliner knew that's what we were.
I think they did. They told them. I think they told all of them, just like in the green room.
Oh, well, maybe. But why?
That was the understanding that I got.
Why did he pick you and not any one of us?
He asked who was getting married.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I just missed that.
Vodka soda. No, just the gummies. You don't remember.
And so, anyways, so the
It was
headline.
really quick. It was just like, who's getting me?
Yeah. So but also he was so cash. Maybe he didn't.
He was
He
cash.
tricked me.
He reminded me of one of those guys that's really into anime.
Okay, so now here's the transition into the rest of the night where if you're cool, I might do some impressions of how the night went or things like that.
Sure.
And I don't know the etiquette of this because
We weren't snorting blow off any hookers' butts.
I know, but that's not
You can make me look classy.
These are certain activities that I have not really participated in.
Right.
So, and it's also funny to me because I don't feel like I would participate.
I'll
in
tell you
them
if you need to
on purpose.
timestamp anything. like Stevie.
No, you won't need to.
Timestamp.
No, not like that. So, Will's attitude has changed. And
So I thought I was great until
I could tell. And so Will had this there's like a seriousness to you that comes a seriousness of needing to be heard.
okay.
And so this comedian, he was doing the crowd work of the night. So he told a few jokes up top. So it's usually an hour. So maybe he did like 20 minutes of his own, like just jokes. And then he mostly went and did like crowd work. And then if somebody said something funny, he'd riff on it for a while.
The weird like elementary school special ed teacher or something
Yeah.
was before us, right?
Gosh. Then there was a lady who definitely wanted to be heard in a different way
Yeah.
than you. But somebody who thought she was the center of the show. And it was annoying. But so he
Didn't
calls
it
on
have
Will.
2 kickballs glued to her chest.
So this guy calls on Will. Yeah, we were in the kickball seats. If you remember, if you go back,
you
back,
were pretty much in the kickball seat.
I was. That's why I unbuttoned my shirt a little bit. And so he calls on Will. He starts answering some stuff about trains, and but so Will would answer like one sentence. The guy would be like, "Hey, so you work on a train? What do you do?" And he'd be like, "Oh, I'm a conductor.
Yeah.
And this is what a conductor does, blah, 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 blah. Think Polar Express." That's exactly me. And then the comedian would be like, "Oh, Polar Express. This guy thinks he does Polar Express," or whatever he does. "This mother thinks he does Polar Express. Oh my gosh." And no, he wasn't even like that.
I know.
He was like, "This guy does Polar Express."
It was right in between those 2 impressions is where he was at.
And but then Will would say he talked to you the most all night.
Yeah.
Will gave him like 10 answers in his,
Because
little
he was
convo there.
asking me. I wasn't just yelling things out.
But Will would be like, "Oh, I'm doing I'm a conductor. Think Polar Express." And then the guy would be like one sentence in, "Hey, this guy does Polar Express. Oh my gosh, with the snow and everything." But then as he's saying his first sentence, you have your finger up like this, like, and you're trying to get in an extra sentence. And I'm like, okay, this is not.
I thought I was on the pod.
And so me and John and Nate are just laughing our heads off because you are doing this thing with you're like trying to get his attention.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, like, and then he'd be like, "So what, you getting married?" And it's like, "Yeah, we're getting married." He's like, "Meet your girl on the train?" No, we didn't meet the I'm trying to think of something funny, but I can't. But
I feel like there was one thing where like I was trying to be heard, like he said something wrong, or I didn't get to finish what I was saying.
no, it was all of them. Every time you gave an answer, that you were like leaning forward like this, like he'd be like, "You guys went on the first date, and you liked her on the first date." "Yeah, but also we were gonna," and you were trying to always get in a second sentence, and I was dying
Just doing
laughing.
yes and.
And it was just funny because he was not turning and looking at you, but also you were trying to be funny I think you were trying to set him up for jokes sometimes.
Maybe, yeah.
Which I couldn't tell sometimes if what you're saying was serious or what you were.
I felt like I had a good joke. You remember what I said?
I can't remember everything.
If we met during something about COVID.
Yeah.
Oh, he asked if we did it on the first date, and I said, yeah, she had to face the wall because it was during COVID.
Oh, yeah, which I thought I'd heard before. And also...
I know, it's been made before.
And also, I need to say this. I heard too much about my brother's sex life in the last 10 days.
Well, and it wasn't even true.
I know, but between the bachelor party and the text thread and the wedding, it's like, okay, I got it. My brother has sex, okay?
And it's funny because none of it is about my actual sex life.
Actually, none of it was that true, and it was just boys joking around.
It was just locker room talk.
And it wasn't even that much. It was just a joke for the pod, okay? If anybody hears this, don't worry. That's not what it really was. I was just joking around. But anyways, so you're doing that.
Yeah.
You're doing the extra talk thing.
That's fun.
And so we can all tell.
I think I had that thought for a second too. I was like, am I talking too much?
But also it was funny to me because you had like a serious look on your face. Like, I know you were having fun, but it was also like, hey, he really wants to get the second sentence into the comedian. And it was your finger the whole time. So then we get in the van and we go to...
You're worried about people walking down the hill?
No. I was just trying to think about it.
Oh, okay.
Because by the time we left there...
And we took the pic?
Yeah, we took the pic. That was fun.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, do I have that?
I'll find it.
Yeah. Yeah, that was fun because we got all the comedians and all the group together in one. And no, I was just thinking about it because I knew, and even there, nobody was at Will's level because I knew how, like I said, I knew how the night was going to go.
Yeah.
But it was just funny because by the time we got in the van, I was just saying like, this is so stupid. This is so stupid because it was just funny seeing you be like being a different person than I know you as.
Yeah.
Than I've seen you. And maybe other people have seen you like that, and that's fine.
Oh, no, I can't find it.
But for me personally, I was just like, this is so funny. And it was weird because you reminded me of Dad trying to be funny. Like, you were the most like Dad when you were drunk. You drunk was Dad trying to be funny.
Okay.
And this is my impression. This is the best I can do of Will in the van going from the comedy show to BJ's or whatever. Is that what it's called?
Yeah. Smoky Joe's is what the cigar lounge is called.
Yeah, so there's cigar lounge. Good vibe inside.
I know. It's they just opened it.
And you go through the casino and you're like, okay, it's a little mini casino.
Right, yeah.
And then you're like, okay, what's this cigar lounge going to be? But the vibe in the cigar lounge was good.
Right.
So Will gets in the van and he's talking all the way from the restaurant where we parked.
What was I talking about?
Everything!
Okay, I don't remember that for some reason.
And it was all the way down the hill, too. And it was just...
I remember like talking and walking. I don't remember what we were talking about.
It was, you were incredulous at everything you were talking about. And 2, you needed to make sure everybody understood you. It was like, you were like, and yeah, and the prices, the labor costs in China, I've heard they're going up everywhere. But I need to add a little buzz speech to it. I'm losing it because I'm
slur.
Here. Yeah, and the labor costs in China, they're going up everywhere. And now in America, we can't even get the stuff for the cost that we used to get it. And you're like leaning over in people's seats. Like, and
that
then
sounds serious.
And then I know it's so stupid because then we go here and we have to pay for parking, and we shouldn't have to pay for parking there. It should be included. It's just stupid that they do that kind of thing. And And then somebody's like starting. It's like, okay, yeah. And so anyway, so my wife and I, we went over to, and it's like, so that was just a fun 10-minute ride. And I've been doing that all around the house. It's just, and then the labor costs in China. That's my favorite one. The labor costs in China are just going up, and then we can't get our stuff for the price that we can get it for.
That's true.
But it was fine. So
Mexico is becoming the labor capital.
It is for us. It's close by.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's partly because the shipping costs have gone up so much.
Tell me about it.
So, anyways, so then
That's
we went to
fun.
the cigar lounge, and that was mostly chill there. But it was just like, okay, I did it. I had a cigar, and it was fine.
Yeah.
But also I've always been paranoid about. Okay, do you have any comedy club memories?
Oh, I thought it was fun to be a part of the crowd work because I never really had that before.
Yeah, that was cool.
And so yeah, it was fun to him to ask and whatever. And I thought it was because I went to the Big J Okerson show,
Yeah.
which he is all crowd work, and apparently it was a mistake to go to like the last one of the night, the late show.
Oh yeah, you
and
told
he
me
was
about
like
that.
too drunk or high or whatever, and it like wasn't funny at all.
That's a bummer.
Yeah, and it was just like him trying to like pull something out of nothing because
Yeah.
like people weren't. There was nothing like crazy that come up. Like
Yeah.
nothing. It was just like whatever. And
Yeah,
so
that
then
can be
he
tough too.
So then he has nothing to talk about,
Yeah.
and he's can't just like do his own stuff. He's
Yeah.
like waiting on the crowd work.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So yeah, that was fun. Yeah, for
and then-
buying just a
so-
random ticket.
Yeah.
it was nice.
Yeah, I thought it was really good for a random night. And then I was gonna say I had the double Mai Tai, and then I had some other like
Mm-hmm.
fruity drink, and I was like, why would I order those? I do like Mai Tais, but like I guess more like pure versions of it. And this was like the very like sports bar, dive bar version.
Oh yeah.
And so it's just like very sugary and like juice, whatever sort of juice in there. And it was just like, and then I got the doubles for no reason. And so, yeah, it was just,
I
those
think
were
I
rough.
might have got doubles there, because a double vodka soda is better than a vodka soda because the sourness is still there. But I also got the onion rings there.
Yeah, I wish I would have got like some fries or something there.
So, so then we went to this cigar lounge, and I never smoked a cigar before, but then I've always been wondering, like, when people say, like, you do it in your mouth or whatever.
Yeah.
That's always, in my head, I'm just like,
Doesn't
sort
make
of
sense.
paranoid about this because it's like, am I going to look like an idiot when I'm trying to do the
Yeah.
whatever? So I did feel
How'd
like,
it go?
I did feel like an idiot, but also it was like, I don't know, the smoking thing, and I know you're supposed to have it in your mouth, but the smoking thing has always bothered me. Like for some reason in my head, that always seems like a big deal to me, like about like having smoke in your lungs, or
Oh, yeah.
I know it's supposed to be in your
Carcinogens.
mouth or whatever, but
Yeah.
you do get a little,
Yeah.
just like that.
Just being in the room.
And just being in the room. So for some reason, well, maybe for good reason, that's always sort of bugged me. But
Yeah.
I was like, I could do it one time and it's fine. It's
Yeah.
not a big deal for me. But
It's like I've
anyways,
never smoked a cigarette for that
Yeah.
same reason. I'm like, how can you smoke that thing, which is like known to have such horrible crap in it?
Yeah. So,
Whereas like the cigar, it's just the straight tobacco. So really, it's the same as like
yeah.
smoking pot or something. It's just like the carcinogens. You're getting the carbon in your lungs.
Right.
You know.
So we get to, it's getting a long podcast, but we're at the end.
Yeah.
We're at the end of the night because
I had the same experience of feeling stupid with the cigar. Just it wasn't at a cigar lounge.
Yeah. I thought it was fine. I mean, if anybody took a look at me, I don't know how my technique was or whatever, but is this it, guys? And so, but the cigar lounge was mostly just chill. Everybody was kind of like not winding down drinks wise, but
Yeah. Apparently Nate was
conversation.
ordering me doubles there.
Well, he was just saying, "You got to get a double, man." And you're like,
And did I?
Yes,
Yeah, I shouldn't have done that.
but he wasn't ordering them. He was just
not
he
like
was just suggesting.
When I ordered, he was like saying get a double.
Yes, you got to get a double. But yeah, that was the other thing. He probably went drink for drink with you, but he was like more together than you were at the end of the night.
Yeah, the doubles not necessary for that long of a night.
Well,
I do like what I did is like usually like I'll have more drinks up front and then just wind down, but it was having too much fun. That's the deal. I was in too good of a mood.
yeah, I think you needed to back off one or two at the end because you're just packing the stomach in or something.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know where the level is, or maybe
Because I've had more drinks in an evening
Yeah.
than that. That's what was weird.
but more alcohol maybe.
Yeah, it was like more.
Because if you're having a beer or something,
I should have just like had beer after the restaurant.
yeah.
Because then it's like and actually, beer technically does have some like water in it, so it's like you're getting some sort of
more than just
hydration,
like
than the little drinks.
So, but basically, all of a sudden it's getting about midnight, and then people are deciding where to go, and then Will's like, I'm gonna. Well, you didn't even say anything, but you were going to the bathroom, and the look in your eyes, it was getting late, but your eyes were like half open,
Yeah.
and everybody was like, Will's not feeling good, and then all of a sudden we start talking again, and then it's like, hold up, Will's been in the bathroom a long time, so we're like, oh, I'll give him a couple more minutes. Even after it's been a long time.
Yeah.
And then Nick goes over the door because it's a single-use bathroom. And he's like, hey, Will, you all right in there? Everything's good? And then I guess you were like, yeah, I'm good. And then
I pooped in there. That's what I was doing.
oh, really?
Yeah.
And
probably looking at my phone.
And then even the guys because it was like 15 minutes at least.
Yeah.
And maybe closer to 20. I don't know, maybe not that long. But even the guys at the bar, because the bathroom is just right at the end of the bar.
More than just a pee.
Yeah. The guys at the end of the bar were like, oh my gosh, we were wondering. So they were also laughing at you when they came out. But the funny part of you coming out of the bathroom is obviously
Apparently I put my like hands
whatever
through my
you were
hair.
doing, you were like putting your hands through your hair. I was envisioning you just like either on the toilet or something and just kind of
just
rubbing your hands through your hair, just trying to like keep it together, like take some deep breaths, get the little something to go away, and maybe you can like be cool. But yeah, you came out of the bathroom and your hair was like 17 different ways and your eyes were still half open. So I was like, okay, Will's starting to feel it. And then we get down to the van and we decided, okay, this is a fine chance to wrap it up for the night.
Yeah.
And everybody had fun.
I wasn't planning on going anywhere else.
Some of us were planning on going to Taco Bell.
Well, yeah.
And so we get down to the van, and Will's definitely not going to make it home. And for some reason, I selected the seat that's right behind Will. So that was my worst choice of the night. And so the window's down all the way home so that Will can get some fresh air. He just kind of got his chin on the side of the van, kind of just sitting there, just kind of bobbing with whatever the road's doing. Eyes kind of like painful eyes.
Doing like this once in a while. Like eyes closed but eyebrows up.
Eyes closed, eyebrows up. Kind of like if you just got kicked in the balls and, it's like, that's what it kind of looks like. Or maybe tapped in the balls.
Yeah, just
when it's like a slight tap, but it really hurts. That's how his face was.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, in the Puyallup, Tacoma area, pull off first Hayukin of the night.
Did I like give him a warning? Because why did he pull off?
I don't.
I think I tapped him like on that side by the seatbelt.
You must have, because it was kind of obvious, but you puked a couple times before we stopped, he said, which I didn't realize.
Oh.
And then, yeah, so then we stopped on the exit, and Will puked out the window with the door closed.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just out the window. It's fine.
Yeah.
But also, you didn't move. You didn't change positions at all.
Oh, really?
You didn't put your hands out to brace yourself. You didn't do anything. You just kept your head there on the edge, and were like Ron when he had those slugs in his mouth in Harry Potter.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, there's about 15 of those. Some
15.
Yeah, some had stuff, some didn't.
Okay. I remember like 3 where like the stuff came out.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely more than that. But then, yeah, so then the window was open all the way from Puyallup to Gig Harbor, so I was freezing by the time we got home. So you never apologize for that. So,
Right.
and then we got to Gig Harbor, and then Todd took you home, and you were not doing good the next morning.
Yeah, he was like, "Oh, you want to go to breakfast, make you feel better, devoted kiss in Gig Harbor?" I was like, "Absolutely not."
And
no, 100%.
And then we took a picture of the side of the van.
Oh yeah, I saw that
because
later.
it was streaked.
Apparently, John's wife said, "Mission accomplished."
Yeah. So it was a fun night.
It was fun. Yeah, like I said, normally I've had many more drinks than that, but I think it was because of like the doubles and short amount of time.
But this is my feeling, and I have one.
And the vibe. I was having a good time.
Well, that is kind of what my question is about, because I felt like,
and I had a designated driver. I had someone looking after me.
And maybe I'm not in your head, so I don't know. But my feeling was like, I don't feel like you had more fun than anybody else the rest of the night.
No.
But you were the only one that had less fun at the end of the night. So
right.
And that's
not what I wanted.
That's the mental hurdle that I cannot get over.
For what?
About going that hard drinking.
I didn't want to.
But you did.
I know. And I've only done that less than 5 times in my whole life.
Yes. So like I said, me not being
like usually like when I've gone out and had more drinks than that or whatever, like gone out with people, like I'm usually the one that's like the most good.
Yeah.
You know, but then still have a good time.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And so like I know for sure I've gone to, it was my birthday weekend in Canada. I've gone to 7 different places in one night.
Yeah.
So that's at least one drink at every place. Minimum.
Yeah.
And I was fine. Not throwing up, not anything, you know?
Yeah.
So it must have just been, I don't know, lack of food or the doubles and all the sugary something, and it just all hit.
The mix.
It all hit wrong.
The nicotine, yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, so it all hit wrong at the cigar bar. That was not.
Yeah.
I didn't want that to happen, obviously. But yeah, I don't think it's more fun, and I have the same mentality. It's like why people that like want to like black out.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, that's crazy.
I did that one time on accident. I hadn't eaten anything all day, and I got served like this really strong beer, like that's as strong as like wine, but then they served it to me in a giant beer mug, like 22 ounces.
Yeah.
So just a bottle of wine, essentially.
Yeah.
That you can just chug.
Yeah.
And that happened once, and that's the only time like I really don't remember like a ton of like hours.
Yeah.
And that's like worst feeling ever. But then some people do that like every weekend.
I know.
Especially like in college or something. You're like around all these people you don't know.
Yeah.
Or like at clubs and stuff.
Yeah.
I would never want to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a fun night, but yeah, everybody's cool. So that's what I liked about it. So
it was tons of fun.
Shout out to everybody who was there.
And it was everything that I wanted in a bachelor party.
Yeah, and you said you loved me from the podcast.
What?
So Will was going around saying everything he loves about everyone, and he said he loves me from the podcast. And I was like, you don't love me like from life? But you were on to like the next.
I don't think I meant from the podcast.
Yeah.
I think the podcast was something I love that we've done together. I think that's maybe what I meant. Man, Michael from the podcast.
That is what you meant.
My
but
co-host.
It was the way you worded it.
That's funny.
Anyways.
Yeah, I started that speech or whatever, and I realized this wasn't planned.
It wasn't overly emotional, but it was melodramatic. But
I don't really know what that means.
The sentiment was nice.
Yeah.
But everybody was like, hey, the Mariners or whatever,
Right.
Like, pause.
Oh yeah, I wanted to
Pause.
I wanted to get it out there before I really couldn't say it.
That's what I mean. Is like the sentiment was like, hey, Will's trying to make sure he says something nice about us before the night's over. So I was like,
Yeah, that was 100% what it was.
yeah, exactly.
It didn't well up in my heart before, in the moment.
Yeah. No, it wasn't one of those, alcohol fueled cry fests or anything.
No. I wanted to make sure I said something because I do appreciate everyone there,
It was only like 5% dramatic.
Yeah. That's good for me.
Yeah,
That's 5% more than I normally
but
am.
I don't know what reminded me so much of Dad.
I don't know either.
And it was just like the way you were talking, or how Dad's so shy that to see him really like.
Maybe that's what it was.
That's what it is.
Switch.
Yeah, it's the switch. It's you being not unhinged, but just
I just realized, why aren't we in front of the solo stove?
uninhibited.
Yeah.
It's like when Dad finally loses it.
Yeah. Maybe that's what it was.
So,
but yeah, it was a grand old time.
anyway, thanks for listening. This is too long, so we got to wrap it up. But stay tuned next week. We'll do
Cut
a
stuff
wedding
at the beginning.
Yeah, we'll do the wedding recap.
1 week later, the wedding happened.
Share it with a friend. Remember.
Like and subscribe.